On today's Glory Days show, the race for the Stanley Cup begins on Wednesday, and the Rangers have already won the President's Trophy as the team with the best record in the league.
And what about the Islanders? At the end of January, they were the best team with the best record. But after an uneven end to their season, they still make the playoffs.
Our hockey maven, Peter Torgerson, and Islanders blogger Brian Galloff join us to talk about the playoffs and who they think will win it all.
Mets and Yankees begin their season. An update on Reggie Jackson trying to sell the letters from the old Yankee Stadium. What can we pack into this show? The best hour of sports in your week is coming up right now.
InReview.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, April 11th, 2015, and you are watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani, and this is my good friend, Bruce Oler. And you are Kyle Melnick and Bonnie Schultz behind the glass, and you are joining us on the InRavio TV network, broadcasting to the world from the InRavio studios at the Village Music Shoppy, right here in beautiful Mastic, Long Island, in the great state of New York. Good morning, my friend.
How you doing?
Man, what a week in the world of sports. It started with opening day in baseball on Sunday night.
Well, actually, it really started Monday with,
well, the Mets
with the NCAA playoffs.
All right, well, but Monday afternoon,
Yep.
the Mets and the Yankees started their season. Bartolo Colon pitches a gem, and the Mets improve on their already best record in opening day, 39-15.
Yep.
That night, Duke wins the NCAA championship over Wisconsin, who ended Kentucky's bid for a perfect 40. Was it 40-0?
I don't know. They were undefeated. whatever it was something to know. You know.
Then on Tuesday, the Rangers clinched the President's Trophy with the best record in the National Hockey League. They assure themselves home ice throughout the whole playoffs. Then the Islanders, they complete that fantastic comeback against Philadelphia, scoring twice in the last minute and a half, and it would have clinched the playoff spot for them. But instead, they gave up a winning goal with like 2 seconds left.
And it was a bad goal, too, man.
Oh, my goodness.
Terrible goal.
On Thursday, Matt Harvey returned for the mound for the Mets. 6 scoreless innings, right? Looked pretty good. Just 4 hits, and the Mets win this 3-game series in Washington.
I shouldn't say this, but I was working out of the house.
Yeah.
And I watched the game.
Well, Thursday afternoon.
Where's my boss? He doesn't know I do this show, thank God.
Tiger Woods
Yeah.
and the rest of the PGA field, the Masters
Yeah.
is going on in Augusta. And Thursday, the Florida Panthers beat the Bruins, and that clinches the playoff spot for them.
Right, that was my posting. Beep, 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 beep. The Islanders backed in, but they did win last night, so they would have been in anyway.
And tonight is the final regular season game ever at the Nassau Coliseum. And by the way, are the Yankees and the Red Sox still playing? That game didn't end till like 2:30 or something last night?
2:13 a.m.
Oh, man.
You know, and they gave it like, it was 6 hours and 49 minutes, but there was like there was a power outage of 16 minutes. So crazy.
And you know what was wild about that game is that it was 3-3 in the extra innings, and then Boston scored.
Well, Boston blew
in the
leads.
bottom of the ninth, the Yankees
In the
tied
ninth,
it.
the 16th, and the 18th, the Bruins, the Red Sox blew leads. Yep.
All right, the Yankees came back. 18th, they came back. 19th, Boston scored, and then they finally got the 3 out.
I was looking. I felt the most intriguing statistic in that game was that there were 622 pitches.
Oh my God!
They used every available bullpen relief pitcher on both teams.
Yeah, Joe Girardi said.
And you know what? They're playing at 1 o'clock this afternoon. So
Well, Joe Girardi said something like that guy, whoever the last pitcher for the Yankee was, when he got the final out, he said that was going to be his last guy.
Yeah.
Because he had nobody else. He couldn't pitch anymore. He had pitched 4.5 innings.
I guess he had to go.
And they were going to go with the first baseman.
Really?
The first baseman was going to pitch. Yeah.
A-Rod or Mark Teixeira?
No. Teixeira was out already.
Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, Teixeira was in the game, but they had a first baseman. I don't even know what his name is. But whatever, so this is going to be about hockey today. This is a hockey day.
I mean, there's a couple of things that you didn't talk about. The first of which is that, A-Rod, he had a home run this week, right? So I think he's only got, 5 home runs away from tying Willie Mays' home run, okay? And when he signed that big contract years ago, he had a clause, 6 clauses, okay, that were basically, he got $6 million per, and if it was a marketing event, okay? And it was tying Willie Mays, it was tying Babe Ruth, it was tying Hank Aaron, it was tying Barry Bonds, and it was going ahead of Barry Bonds, okay? But the Yankees have chosen not to promote his upcoming thing as a marketing event.
Wow.
So there's going to be, I think, a showdown at the OK Corral on that.
Well,
so
he's not that far away right now.
I think he's 5 home runs
Mays,
away.
Right?
Well, Willie Mays had, I have it written down here someplace, 660.
Right.
And I think he has 655 or something, I think is what he has.
That was his home run was 655.
Yep.
Wow, that's going to be something to see.
It should be. I got a text from my cousin yesterday who's going to be working for the Long Island Ducks. Mm-hmm. And the Ducks have an exhibition game coming up. I think it's part of their fan fest or whatever. And they're trying out, I think, 2 stupid things, to tell you the truth, in the interest of speeding up the game. So one is that a foul ball on the 3rd strike and you're out. And a walk is 3 balls. So nobody will see more than 5 pitches.
Right, nobody sees
6 pitches,
more than 5. No, 5 pitches.
Yeah.
No, 6 pitches.
Well, I guess no, it would be 5. It would 2.
All right, 2 and 2 count, right, and then the last one.
Yep. So I don't know.
Interesting, but I just don't know.
I don't, I was reading a little bit about it. It looks like it was some baseball author who came up with the idea.
That's like giving them 4 outs.
Yeah.
Or I don't know that it's one thing to take a look at the things that are causing the game to be delayed, but you're not actually changing.
Yeah,
any
well,
of the rules.
I mean that's right, and that's exactly what I was thinking about too. Is so all of a sudden all these records would go by the wayside. So it wasn't something Major League Baseball was asking. They just thought it was a good idea.
Right, like in tournament baseball, and they have little speed up rules that are just a little. They're just playing with the rules a little bit. Like for example. 2 outs, they have the speed up rule. If your catcher is on base with 2 outs, you could have the catcher come. The last guy to make an out gets to run for the catcher, so that the catcher can put all his equipment on and there's no delay between innings. But most of the times that's because you're running up against the darkness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
But all right, you know what?
And the other thing is, how much we talk about the NBA. Yes. But there was something happened in the NBA this week. This forward on, I think it was Cleveland, Chris Copeland, he was stabbed outside a Chelsea bar at 4 o'clock in the morning. What the hell's he doing out at 4 o'clock in the morning? And it turns out, they were in town to play the Knicks, and then I see there were 2 Atlanta Hawk players who were arrested for obstruction of a crime scene. Okay? But they were in town to play Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So...
You know what?
I don't know.
And you know what? I don't know.
Why do you hang out at 4 o'clock in the morning, man?
And when they asked Derek Fisher about whether he has a curfew on his team, he says no. He says they're grown men.
Yeah.
You can't put a curfew on grown men. Well, you know what? This is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with the sport of basketball. It happens in football. It happens in baseball. It happens in hockey. Your favorite word? Just knuckleheads.
Exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Or hammerheads.
All right. You know what?
Let's
take a break.
All right.
We're just getting started here on the Glory in the Show. And right after the break, let's get our good buddy Pete Torgerson on the phone. We'll talk about the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And later on, we'll hear from Islanders blogger B.D. Galoff as the Islanders and their fans prepare for what might be an emotional night.
I'm sure it will be.
At the Coliseum. Stay with us. You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco only on the InRadio TV network. Coming right back. This is a quick break.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio TV network. Baseball season's underway, spring is in the air, and that can only mean one thing. Time to talk about the Stanley Cup playoffs. And there's only one man that we can turn to on this program, and that is the man, the myth, the legend, Pete Torgerson, our hockey maven. Pete, you there?
What's happening, boys?
How you doing there?
Hey, Petey, how are you?
A little tired. The game went a little long last night.
Yes, it did.
Did you stay? You stayed up for the whole thing?
No, you know what? I fell asleep and I clicked it on to find a score, and it's still going on. I thought it was, the replay after the game or
Thought
something.
it was Groundhog's Day or something, huh?
Jeez.
It was funny. By the end of the game, I looked at the Yankee lineup, and it looked like a spring training game.
Yeah, I guess.
Unbelievable. Yeah. But I did watch the Islanders last night.
Yeah, they looked, it was the best game they've played in a while. Of course, that was it was kind of interesting, I guess, that goal, and I think they made the right call. It was inconclusive. They didn't call it a goal, on the ice.
Right.
The referees didn't. And really, you couldn't tell where that puck was because the glove was covering that, So, and then it was kind of interesting after that. Go ahead.
I was watching the NHL Network, and they had the Penguins announcers, and they were pretty sure it was in.
Oh, well, of course. Well, I'm pretty sure it could have been, but you know what? It was, and they showed all the angles. You couldn't tell.
It's all perspective.
Yep. And then I guess the backbreak was right after that. I mean, the next face-off, Cizikas goes on a breakaway, man, and he scores,
What I was really happy to see was the goal by Grabner.
Yeah.
Just to see him break away and show that speed, that's what this team has been missing.
Well, yeah, he only played 33 games this year. I mean, he started the year on injured reserve. I think he had a sports hernia. He's been in and out of the lineup.
He had a concussion, and I know you can't just come back from that, from concussions, and that was probably why they were, because he was a healthy scratch a couple games in a row.
Yeah.
But man, what that reminded me of? That was the Bobby Bourne moment.
No, that's right.
There you go.
That was
speed kills, man.
That's right. He only had 9 goals all year.
I thought it was only 8, but yeah.
A couple years ago, didn't he have 40 or 30 goals?
He had a lot of goals. I mean, but again, he only played in 33 games. So if you project that over an 82-game season, maybe he would have 15 to 18 or something like that.
Last year he had a miserable season last year.
Yeah.
And
I'll tell you, the thing that bothers me though is seeing Hamannik go out. You know, and I don't know how serious that injury was, but, you know, he's like our third top defenseman, so that could be a problem in the playoffs. We'll have to see. Of course, you know, Pete, I think a couple of weeks ago you counted the Bruins out, and technically they're not out yet. I mean, it's going to take, I guess, a miracle. But if they win tonight against Tampa, and they'll know well before that, I think Ottawa's playing this afternoon. If Ottawa loses the regulation, and if Pittsburgh to the Flyers, or if Pittsburgh loses to Buffalo, you know, the Bruins can get that 8th seed.
Yeah, and they're all throwing each other under the bus up there, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I said back on the preseason show back in September, I said they might have a hard time making the playoffs this year. I wasn't real, you know, thrilled with them going into the season.
Yeah.
And, you know, it is what it is. That's the type of team they are right now.
And they won the President's Cup last year, you know, so
Yeah.
or not the cup, the trophy, right? I
President's
call it the
Trophy.
cup, but there's only one cup, right? It's the Stanley Cup.
It's a Boston thing. Last the first.
You know,
Yeah, well, that's right. That's a good point.
And you know, the thing is that with that President's Trophy,
Yeah.
I said, I believe I don't have the exact statistic in front of me, but in the last like 30 some odd years, only 8 of the teams that have won the
Yeah, I
President's
wanna do
Trophy
that research,
won
too,
the cup,
because-
and one of them was the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
When they won
94.
in
I
94.
think that was the last team to do it in 93, 94.
Yeah.
I mean, the Islanders only did it once, but that was after they had won the Stanley Cup twice already.
Right, it was
You
the
know,
third year.
they had won the President's Cup the year before when they
Right.
lost to the Rangers.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of teams go for that President's Cup, and they go so hard that they're
Trophy.
done by the time the playoffs come. So
Trophy.
I tell you, this playoffs, I'm excited about it. It's going to be outstanding because there's a lot of new teams in. There's a lot of good teams that are out. So anything could happen, and it's going to get crazy. And
All right, Pete, we're gonna put up a graphic for the Eastern Conference standings.
okay,
Okay, so and we're gonna just follow along. Right now, Rangers, Montreal, Tampa, Washington, Islanders, Detroit, Ottawa, Pittsburgh. Those are the 8 teams. Boston still has a chance. Right now, the Rangers have already clinched home ice for the entire playoffs. Montreal's in first place in the Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
But Tampa Bay can come in. If Tampa Bay wins their game against Boston and Montreal loses to Toronto, Tampa Bay gets the number 2 seed.
Yeah.
Montreal drops to the 3 seed.
So, I mean, tonight's game should be an exciting game because, well, I mean, I guess for Boston, they will know because if Ottawa loses, I think they're playing in the afternoon.
Right.
But, you know, it's Tampa Bay I mean, they have incentive to win, so it should be a pretty hard-fought game, I guess.
And actually, the only playoff series that we know for sure is the Islanders and
Capitals.
Washington.
Yep.
We just don't know where it's going to start.
Yep.
Okay. Detroit clinched a playoff spot.
Yeah.
But they don't know where they're going to be, 6, 7, or 8. Ottawa clinches if they beat Philadelphia. Pittsburgh clinches if they beat Buffalo. So this entire thing, we could talk a little bit about the teams, but we can't really talk about the matchups.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Washington Islanders will be a great series.
Well,
I'm-
it should be. I was doing a little research on it, and I will talk with Brian, I guess, a little more later on. But the Islanders were 2-1-1 against them.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
the 2 games they won were overtime games.
That was the last game I went to.
At the Coliseum?
At the Coliseum was December 29th.
By the way,
A 4-3
StubHub,
overtime win.
on StubHub today,
Yeah.
you can get a ticket for tonight for $86.
Really?
Yeah.
$86. That's a.
It's a bad seat, but it's a...
$86. That's not too bad, man. I would have thought it was $8,600.
Well, it would have been if the Islanders were out of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Pete, who do you, just off the top of your head, obviously the Rangers have been the best team in the last 6-8 weeks.
Yeah.
Anybody going to beat them?
Tampa.
Ooh.
Interesting.
Yep.
You know, I was checking it out, and I was looking at the teams that had the biggest goal differential. And the Rangers are number 1. They have 58. They scored 58 more goals than they gave up. But second was Tampa Bay with
Wow.
50.
Yep.
Yep.
The thing,
And Bishop in goal. He's great. And the key to their defense is what's his name, Hedman, and he was
Yep.
the number 2 pick. Remember, it was either going to be Tavares or Hedman.
Yep.
Yes.
And I said, I was thinking like Dennis Potson, let's go with this guy. And you know, so many forwards are bust out, but
Yep.
Islanders made the right choice getting Tavares. But I like Tampa. Montreal, Pacioretty's hurt. They don't know what's wrong with him. He hit his head pretty hard the other night, so he's on the bubble. The Rangers are dangerous. They're a nice team, and they actually almost,
you know what I can't understand about the Rangers? What's his name? The guy that lives up by you, and I forgot his name right now. He's such a dominant player, but he goes to sleep sometimes. Kreider, yeah. Chris Kreider.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I think the key for the Rangers is. Do you remember last year, number 5, Girardi?
Yep.
Man, I felt bad for that guy. He couldn't even tie his skates right going into the games. But he's had a good year. He came back strong, so he's a key player for them. I think their defense is going to be the key. The goals will come because they have so much speed. They'll create goals, but the defense is the key. And then what happens if King Hank lets a few goals in? Do you go with Talbot? Talbot is the MVP of that team this year, as far as I'm concerned.
Gotcha.
So.
The Rangers seem to be pretty set in goal, though. I mean, I think about last year what happened with Montreal and Kreider again, right? He ran Price, and I really think that was the key to the series there. If somebody runs Hank, they'll be okay with Talbot. I think the Rangers. So the Rangers are in good shape. I really, I hate to say that, but I have to, admit the reality here.
Hey, we got a guy on the inside today. Our good friend Jimmy Ludwig. He lives across the street from my brother's neighbor.
Yeah.
He's at the Coliseum right now. He's a plumber. He must be working on hopefully he's fixing the ice. But he's at the Coliseum right now. He just sent us a little message. Hey, Pete, I want to give you a quick laugh. Howie Rose said the other night, was talking about how it looks like, and it's going to obviously happen, that no player is going to reach 90 points this year. And they were talking about the top guy, Wayne Gretzky, who owns the record.
212 or something, right?
215 points.
Wow, okay, wow.
And I talking to my son Kevin about it, so I said, what do you think the record is? And he says, I don't know, about 125. And I said, 215. It's 215. And he says, that's impossible. I said,
it's Wayne Gretzky, man.
It's still 82 games.
Yep.
I mean, how many goals did they score that year?
I don't know. That's almost 3 points a game is what that is,
That's just mind-boggling.
Kevin Stevens finished third behind Gretzky and Lemieux, and he had like 180 points.
That's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You want to talk about the Western Conference real fast?
Yeah, I tell you.
Okay.
You got Los Angeles, San Jose, Colorado not in the playoffs.
That's unbelievable.
Kings are out. It's the 5th time in the NHL history that the team that won the Cup failed to qualify the following year. I think the last time that happened was '96 with the Devils. Yeah. And I didn't realize that when the Devils won in '95 was one of those shortened season.
Okay.
And the Rangers fans used to always say to the Devils, "You won half a cup. It's what you won."
Well, the only thing left in the Western Conference is just the seeding.
Seeding, yeah, that's right.
Anaheim and St. Louis, though, they're still fighting for the number 1.
Anaheim, I think Anaheim has a cupcake game though tonight. I think they're playing.
Yeah, they're playing Phoenix.
Yeah.
And St. Louis is playing Minnesota.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy, Pete. We were talking about the way the seeding is, and Vancouver with 99 points is seeded 5th. Calgary with 97 points is seeded 6th. And then Minnesota, because they're the wild card team, with 100 points is seeded 7th.
Yeah.
So the number 2 seed actually gets a worse matchup than the number 3 and the number 4 seed.
Yeah.
Say, you don't want to play Minnesota.
No.
If the first round is St. Louis, Minnesota, that will be an absolute war. I don't know if you've been watching their games. They hate each other.
Yeah. Really?
It's going to be great. I think Minnesota's going to come out of the West.
You think so?
Yeah.
Wow.
They got Bugnick, whatever his name is, the goalie. He's been playing out of his mind.
Nito Niederreiter, ex-Islanders on that team, and Vanek too, I think, is on that team, right?
They got a nice team.
Yeah,
they
right.
got their 2 big guys are Suter and Parisi. So
yeah, how can you forget Parisi? Yeah, they got a good team for sure.
So you like just off the top of your head. So you like Minnesota?
Yeah, my two teams out of the West would be St. Louis, Minnesota.
St. Louis had a 45 goal differential. Minnesota 32.
But there's
Chicago
a good chance they're
41.
playing each other in the first round.
They might not.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't, and they meet further on. Nashville had a great year. That they plugged away. I think they peaked a little too early.
That's kind of what I think about the Islanders too.
And
I
who do
think
you
they
like,
played their best hockey back in January.
Who do you like coming out of the East? Do you like the Rangers?
No, Tampa.
You like Tampa?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All righty. Now,
I think it'll come down to the Rangers. And don't count out Montreal. Their goalie prices.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable.
He's a game changer.
Unless somebody runs him.
With Pacioretty hurt, I think that's a huge blow to them. He was 39 goals this year or so.
Well, this is the best time of the year, Pete. I know that you watch all the games like I try to, too, between the NHL Network and NBC Sports Network.
Right.
Just about every game will be on, So it should be good.
We're going to be talking to you for 6 consecutive weeks.
Sounds great.
All right. The one thing that might kill me, though, is if I see that commercial about frog protection. If I see that commercial one more time, I might jump off the bridge.
Don't do that.
All righty, man. Thanks, Petey. We'll talk.
Take care, buddy.
Big one tonight, Boston University in Providence.
Yeah, that's right.
The Frozen Four.
Well, the Frozen 2 now.
The Frozen 2,
Yep.
yeah.
Watch that game. The kid Eichel from BU, he won the Hobie Baker yesterday. He's a special player. He'll have 30 goals next year in the NHL.
All right. We'll keep
man.
an eye on him. Thanks
All
a
right,
lot,
you
Pete.
heard it here.
Good
All right, guys.
That's our good pal.
See you later.
Our good pal, Pete Torgerson.
Yep. Well, let's take a break, and when we get back, we'll talk about the Islanders with blogger Brian Galoff. Is that how you pronounce it, Galoff?
I remember.
He'll correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. Yeah. All right, we're coming right back. Yeah, Minnesota does look like a pretty good team.
Transmission of lice occurs from being in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Like catching a cold or a flu.
You have guaranteed peace of mind in every bottle of Got Lice because all of our products are completely natural.
And organic.
But strong enough to cover all your lice removal needs while being safe and effective. Our professional technicians are specially trained with our exclusive proven technique to successfully comb out head lice. We come right to your home at your convenience.
Whenever you want us.
We bring everything needed to perform a successful and complete comb out while eliminating your head lice. And we leave you with our exclusive complimentary products to use for the next 10 days following our treatment.
For free.
Our technicians also check all family members who have been exposed to lice. Please visit us on our website today at gotlice.co or feel free to call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 646-257-0121.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. For over 60 years, Hansen Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hansen Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansenCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hansen Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, I'm Raul Panther.
And I'm Commander B. Hawkins.
And I'm Russ Weller. We're some of the proto men. If we see you without this bracelet, you get punched in the But if you have this bracelet from nravio.com, you can win $100.
Put one of these on.
Or else.
Hey, this is Chris Les Jake, and if nravio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Enravio TV network. We have a special caller.
That's what live TV is all about, man.
And we have a guy who's on the inside.
Inside looking out, huh?
He's on the inside looking out. A good friend
Good
in
morning.
the show. Jimmy Ludwig. Jimmy, what are you doing at the Nassau Coliseum this morning?
Good morning, fellas.
How are you?
I am everyone knows I'm a union plumber, and Nassau Coliseum has a contract with our local that they need a union plumber on call 24 hours a day.
I see.
And I am here in the bowels calling live. It's quite a scene. It's pretty unusual, and that's why I was calling you the other day, because I had a inside poop for you. I was going to grab a bucket of the last ice for the regular season. I was going to bring a bucket of this ice home. Not that it's going to last long, but I'm going to put it in a mason jar, and you will see the little jars for sale this summer on my front lawn.
Hey, you know what? If you could get me a little jar with ice from the Nassau Coliseum for the last game, after the game is over, if you could,
Yes.
or just grab it from the Zamboni. Actually, you could just put water in a jar. It would be the same. I will bring it. I'll bring it on the show next week.
Okay, all right. I'll sign the jar. It'll be authentic. I have it documented. I actually, the Zamboni, we're in charge of watering it up, so it's right outside the door here.
Have the Zamboni, bring a Sharpie, have the Zamboni guy sign it.
If I had your number, I could actually send you pictures. I've been sending them to your brother because I have his number. It's me in front of tonight's game net. I'm leaning up against the net. I'm watching the Jake King's truck get unloaded with hot dogs. It's a beautiful scene. The Zamboni's right outside my door, and it's pretty good because they had a leak in the locker room earlier, and the Islanders are here practicing. And I only know them like from the ice with their name on their jersey.
Right.
And I know I'm in the locker room with these guys. I know they're all Islanders, but I don't know who they are.
You know, I used to, when I was a kid, following them, I used to know them by face. Then again, they didn't wear helmets and they didn't have face guards and stuff. So you kind of knew exactly. And if I walked into today, other than maybe a guy like Tavares, if I knocked one of those guys over in the mall accidentally, I wouldn't know who they are.
I would know a few of them. I would recognize Hamaneg. I would recognize Oposo.
I don't think I'd recognize those guys.
I'm a man's man. I'm no homo. But these guys are in some shape. I'll tell you. You don't
I'm
see
sure of that.
on the ice.
Are they wearing towels or not wearing towels?
Some with, some without.
I see.
Some guys I could tell they're from Europe, and some guys I could tell they're from America. Let's just put it that way.
So, I guess the thing about the Coliseum is that they, it's been tradition that people, tailgate. So, what time did you get over there this morning? When did you start work?
My shift starts at 7 o'clock.
Okay, were people tailgating already or what?
They're not allowing them into the parking lot. Actually, they're trying to get in. Security's pretty tight, as you can imagine.
I see.
The game is sold out completely. Okay, they're trying to get into the parking lot using the guys that they're coming here for Disney tickets next week, but they're all drunk already, and they're not buying that.
I know you're a plumber, as you said before, and I said maybe they're finally getting around to fixing the plumbing at the Nassau Coliseum. Last game, and they're finally going to fix it, but I guess that's not the case. You said you guys are always on call over there, huh?
Yes. Actually, there's somebody always in the building while there's a function going on.
I see.
There's always someone in just in case something goes wrong. They just want to see you to shut it down and then take care of it after the event. I get some decent pictures. The practice is pretty intense. Just the setup. And what I'm really calling to say is it's a sad day that this place is going to close because you don't see behind the scenes the small army of people that this place employs.
Yeah.
You don't see that. And I know it's a sports show. I'm getting a little off the topic.
No, it's okay.
But,
Jimmy, it's it's a political thing. It's just very short-sighted.
But it's not closing down though. They're going to refurbish it, and they're still going to have concerts there and things like that. It's sad the Islanders won't play there anymore. Although, I mean, there's even speculation that maybe as of 2019 they'll come back. Who knows?
But they're going to turn it into a smaller venue.
Yeah.
And it's only going to have 13,000 seats instead of 19,000. So if you're Beyonce, you're going to go to the Barclays, you're going to go to Madison Square Garden, you're going to go to the Prudential because you can get 22,000 people here. Why would you come here?
Yeah.
Good question. Good question. So
I understand that they sold off. The county sold off a piece of the parking lot to Sloan Kettering. And that's
really?
They already have the permits out for that, and that's going to be a huge building with a parking garage in by the Earl Ovington and Hempstead Turnpike. Where the student overpass is. That's where that's going in that corner. So they sold off a piece of the property already, and that's already in contract.
That's where they have right now. They're parking cars there. They have cars there from like a Lexus or whatever, a dealership there.
Yeah. The county's trying to get as much money as they can doing anything.
So Jimmy, I didn't get a chance to ask you. Are you an Islander fan or a Ranger fan? I know you're a Yankee fan, so I figure you probably.
I am an Islander fan.
Okay.
I'm proud of it. Proud of it.
So what's your favorite Coliseum memory?
Probably not much of a memory because it was in my earlier days. If you get where I'm going, and it was a concert.
Somebody told you were there, right? Okay,
You have a ticket stub.
Apparently, I have a ticket stub dated from the '80s, and it was probably one of the Pink Floyd shows or a concert, a music event. But a couple of good sporting things. Like even I just like the way they do it. It's a small venue. We were here for a rodeo. Even a rodeo was fun because it's personalized.
I went there for the Monster Truck Show.
Yeah.
It was great. The Monster Truck Show is a great thing to see live.
That's right. Now, if you go on Sunday, afterwards they have them sitting outside. So you can go.
Oh, the big trucks. Yes.
Yeah.
One last thing before they call me because I know I have to make my rounds.
Okay.
The most fascinating thing that I've seen since I've been here in the bowels, things that you don't see, is probably the circus. The circus that was here. I opened up my shop door down here in the basement where the entrance is.
Right.
And I really didn't know what was going on or what to expect. I opened up that door and I got a great picture. There are 8 elephant asses within 6 feet of my door.
Yep.
The stink just came out of this place about a week ago, and they've been out of here for almost a month.
It's funny you mention that because I remember one year when the Islanders were on a playoff run. I don't remember if it was the year they won the Cup or not, but it was the same kind of thing. The circus is always in about this time of the year, and they said they were traveling with some of that elephant dung because it was giving them good luck. Is what they said was going on.
They were pulling it out of here by the 40-yard dumpster full. There was plenty of luck here.
How'd you like to be the guy that gets that detail?
I got some great pictures. We got to figure a way. I got some good behind-the-scenes video. I had the Islanders warming up on ice, their drills and stuff like that, because we're allowed to walk around the bowl, if you will.
Yeah, that's cool.
I always have my camera out, and you never know when you can see something good. So I got to figure out a way to get you some video and stuff like that, a little behind-the-scenes
Jimmy,
stuff.
I was there about 2 weeks ago, and I realized that it was the last. It could be the last time I ever see them play there because getting playoff tickets is going to be difficult, if not incredibly expensive. But and it was very sad because I was telling Bruce about it, and I said, for me, for my age group, this was one of the first places I was ever allowed to go to by myself.
Yeah, unsupervised.
Unsupervised. My father would drop us off. I was only 15, 16 years old, and my father would just drop us off, and all of a sudden, we were on our own.
Yeah.
We were in a place without our parents, and it was just our friends, and we were at a sporting event, and we could go buy soda and popcorn and whatever.
Right.
And to me, that'll always be the memories for me and for my age.
Well, and as Jimmy said, mine are more, I went to a lot of Islander games, but mine would be more the concerts where, Dad, can you drop us off across the street so we can, so we can get tuned up before we go in, man,
Well, you were a degenerate.
I was.
You turned me into a degenerate.
One last thing, another last thing before I go. A couple of years ago, they had the circus here.
Yeah.
And one of our friends in a group works for a plastic surgeon, and he has one of those luxury booths which I did when they added them, when the Coliseum added them. I think it was in the 80s at some time. I actually worked on that as an apprentice. I was here for those booths.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, we were the only imbeciles up there in a booth for a rodeo. So it was like, the cowboys were tired. It was the Sunday night show. The horses were half dead. The bulls didn't want to come out of the gates. But we were so drunk up there, having such a good time. So anyway, fast forward. I go to work Monday. Boss says, "How was your weekend?" and stuff like that. So I told him, "Yeah, everything was cool. I went to the rodeo on Sunday." He goes, "Oh, I was there." He says, "What show did you go?" So he says, "The Late Show." I said, "I was there too." He goes, "Where were you sitting?" I said, "We were up in the luxury booth." And my boss said to me with a straight face, "Oh, that was you, assholes?"
Oh,
At the whole Coliseum, he found us.
Yep.
And
All right,
that's
fellas,
your
I
Nassau
will-
Coliseum moment.
Yes, if you will. All right, I'll remember that bucket of ice. I have it right here in the shop, and I'll talk to you fellas.
Hey, thanks, Jimmy. I'd really appreciate that because, I do have some dirt from
Right,
Shea
from Shea
Stadium
Stadium, that's
that I've
right.
always kept.
Yep.
And I'd like to do the same thing with this. That'd be great.
Cool.
All right.
That was
All
why
righty.
I was trying to Facebook you that last week. That was the offer I had for you. But you didn't return my call. So you get a pint and your brother gets a quart.
I don't know. All righty, man.
All right, fellas. Have a
I'll
good
talk
day.
to you,
Thanks
Jimmy.
for calling in, Jimmy.
But I'd put you on the show.
All
All
right.
right, that's Jimmy Lugman. He's on the inside.
Yeah.
A couple of things about the Islanders. They were talking about yesterday that they have a 46 goal against differential. They've given up 46 goals less than they did last year.
Yeah.
Thanks to Halak and obviously a much better defense. And they were about 20 goals ahead.
Right.
And
But the differential, is not in the same category.
No,
I mean,
but it
you're
was just-
talking
it was
about
so
from year to
bad
year as
last
opposed
year.
to goals against, goals for during a year. 'Cause
Right,
I think they're around 20,
But again,
something like that.
that's how you win hockey games. You score more and you give up less goals.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
but if your team didn't make the playoffs last year, which is what they didn't do,
and this year
got to look at that with a little bit of an asterisk.
we took a little bit of a hit here. The Islanders were just since on January 27th they were in first place in the division, and since January 27th they're 15, 14, and 5.
Yeah.
So they're just barely 500. And you know what? I said something back then to a coworker, and we were talking about it. And I said, you know what? They're in first place right now. They got the best record in the division. I says, even if they go 500 the rest of the way, they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, well, we were sweating it out.
I was kidding.
We were
Really,
sweating it
I
out
was just kidding.
after that devastating loss Tuesday night. It was.
You know what? To me, that was the Islanders, or hopefully it's not. But at the time, I said, it reminded me of the Louis Castillo moment
that's right.
with the Mets.
Yep.
The Mets never recovered. Well, they haven't recovered yet from that Louis Castillo moment.
Right.
Where he dropped that little pop-up against the Yankees. And by the way, in the Washington game, the exact same thing happened.
Yeah.
But
It was Desmond, the shortstop. Yep.
but Curtis Granderson didn't score because Curtis Granderson was just kind of jogging.
Not like Mark
first and
Teixeira was
second.
running
Teixeira
all
was
out.
running full speed, and that's
Yep.
why he was able to score.
Yep.
Those are the little things that they
Yep.
have to do.
That's right.
That's the thing that you have to do if you want to be a winning. I don't want to call it a championship.
I was checking
ball
a couple
club.
of things out because I'm trying to understand what's going on with the Islanders playing Washington. Holtby's played 73 games, so that's a lot of games for a goalie to play. So he
Wow,
might wear
73.
down. Ovechkin's got 52 goals. He's going to be the guy there. But Barry Trotz was talking about the fact that at this point in the season, when you make the playoffs, everybody you play is a good team. It really comes down to who has the determination to take that extra step. Yeah. Who's going to stand in front of that shot and block it? Who's going to take that hit?
We were hoping to have Brian Galoff on the program. We don't know what happened. There must have been some sort of a disconnect with him. But he, the one thing we learned as Islander fans was that you can't turn it on and off in the playoffs. And my concern for the Islanders is not that they've lost some of those games, it's how they lost them. They're just not playing the same way they were playing before.
I mean, when I posted that, my thing on Facebook saying beep, 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 they backed into the playoffs, I mean, the thing that bothers me is exactly that. I mean, you have to peak at the right time. And if you really look at it, they peaked probably back in January when they were the best team in hockey.
Yeah. And you
don't get that mojo back sometimes.
I mean, I know they ran into some really bad injuries. Oposo was really heating up.
Yeah.
He missed 6 weeks. They lost Leddy for a period of time. They lost Boychuk for a period of time. And they're just now starting to get everybody back, and now they're playing together.
Yeah,
so
but we don't know. I mean, Hamonic, hopefully that's not a devastating injury. I know Nielsen's been hurt for a while, and he didn't play last night. And they sat Matt Martin out, too. I mean, Matt, he's just he's a whirling dervish out there is what he is. He's a Tasmanian devil.
Yeah. All right, you know what? Let's take another break.
Okay.
When we get back, we'll update you on Reggie Jackson's bid to sell those iconic 10-foot-high letters from the old Yankee Stadium. And we'll talk about the team with the highest payroll in baseball. And it's not the Yankees.
That's surprising.
On your Did You Hear About segment, which is next. Stay with us. You're watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce Disco, only on the Radio TV network. Coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio TV network. Time for our Did You Hear About segment, and we start out with an update on a story we reported here on Glory Days just a few weeks ago about Yankee legend Reggie Jackson trying to sell the iconic 10-foot-high letters that he purchased from the Yankees before they tore down old Yankee Stadium. Jackson offered the complete set of 13 letters for auction at Sotheby's on April 1st, April Fool's Day, right?
Yeah.
And the asking price was between $300,000 and $400,000. Unfortunately for Mr. October, the fish weren't biting that day. Nobody made an offer on the letters, so Jackson maintains ownership. Jackson, who was in attendance at the auction, even offered to come and visit the person who purchased the letters as long as they lived in the United States. At one point, the bidding was reopened at $280,000. Still no takers. Later on, Jackson admitted that he bought the letters on a lark, and he joked that once he saw the height of the letters that he realized he had made a mistake in purchasing them. I'm sure his wife agrees with him every day, don't you?
I know my wife would
Yeah.
be bringing it up every
Yeah.
day. What are you going to do with those numbers? Those letters?
By the way, the bullpen car used by the Mets in the late 60s, I remember that, with
Remember
the
they had the
baseball
little
hat
hat?
on it. Yeah. It sold for $112,000 at the same auction, more than 4 times the asking price.
Now-
So I guess that means there were more people who like the Mets than the Yankees? Is that what that means? I don't know.
You know, for $112,000,
Yeah.
you get that bullpen car. Remember, they used to have.
Didn't they change the hat on it, too?
Well, they had a hat on
Oh,
the
that's right, for the
visiting.
visiting
They had a
team, that's
hat
right.
for every baseball team. I
Yeah.
wonder where all those hats are.
Yeah, that's good. Maybe
'Cause they
Reggie,
only had
maybe
one
Reggie
car.
Jackson bought them too. I don't know.
Well, I guess, Reggie Jackson obviously must have a gigantic place or live in a really good house, whatever.
Yeah.
Where's he storing 13 10-foot-high letters?
He might not be. He's probably not storing them in his house, though.
He's gotta
You
store 'em
think?
somewhere.
Well, he's got. Yeah, but I mean, probably not in his
They
house.
rent one of those little.
There's so many of those storage places,
Wow. But then
Yeah.
again, he's Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
He can do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah. Maybe. And maybe if he was going to not selling the whole set, maybe that was the. Like I say, you could spell "eat me" with that. You could spell Mets. I mean, there's a lot of things you could spell out with that without buying all the letters.
Well, you know what? They're not. I don't have any of the letters for my initials.
No.
But that would be something if I could just get, my 2 initials
Yep.
and put it up on the thing. All righty. Our other story.
Yes.
Hey, what happened to my sweeper?
I
can
know.
we do it now?
I guess I was waiting for that.
There we go.
Okay. Part 2.
Remember when Boston general manager Theo Epstein called the New York Yankees the evil empire because of the way they outspent everyone?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what he thinks of the Los Angeles Dodgers right now. The Dodgers set a record with the highest opening day payroll, $270 million. Almost $44 million is going to players that are no longer on the team. 3 of them have been traded,
Right.
and 1 they had to buy out the contract.
Wow.
Okay. Last year, the Dodgers ended the Yankees' streak of 15 consecutive seasons as the highest salaried team in baseball when they paid $234 million for a team that didn't win the World Series. They lost in the first round
Right.
to St. Louis, 3-1. At $219 million this year, the Yankees are a distant second to the Dodgers, followed by the Red Sox at $175 million, and the world champion San Francisco Giants at $173 million. The team with the least payroll, that would be the Houston Astros, $69.1 million, followed by the Miami Marlins at $69.2 million.
Even with them paying all that money to Giancarlo Stanton, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
Just think about what everybody else is making.
Yeah.
What about the Mets? They clock in at just over $100 million for the first time since 2011.
Wow.
And by the way, there are 3 Dodger players.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw, Zach Greinke, Adam Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez.
Yep.
That make more than $78.1 million combined.
So that's more than Houston.
And Tampa.
Miami.
And Miami.
Wow.
Couple of things, numbers. 508 baseball players make more than $1 million.
Okay.
This year, okay? 27 players make more than $20 million. And 123 players make more than $10 million.
Nice work if you can get it.
Do you know what the Major League Baseball minimum is? It's the highest ever.
800,000?
Close, 507,000.
Not that close. Okay.
And there are only 46 players.
I see.
Making 500,000.
Wow. Okay.
So it takes a good thing to be a baseball player. It's fairly profitable.
As who was that? Chico Escuela?
Chico Escuela.
Baseball been very, very good to me. Okay,
All right, we're almost out of time here at Glory Day Show. We're gonna take a 2-minute break, then we'll come back, wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show, Bruce Disco, only on the Radio TV network. We're coming right back.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Gloria Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio TV network. So what did we learn today?
I guess I learned about the way the NHL playoff seeding works, that basically the wild card, you can have a lot higher points than maybe a team that finished higher than you in the other division.
Yep.
You know,
and actually it's almost not fair to the higher seeds because they're the ones that are getting screwed.
Yeah.
You know?
The way it works.
I learned that Pete Torgerson likes Tampa Bay out of the East, and if Minnesota and St. Louis play each other in the first round,
it's going to be a war.
Not only is it going to be a war, but he likes the winner of that to come out of the West.
Yeah.
I also learned that Jimmy Ludwig, who is a union plumber working at the Coliseum, has nothing better to do today than to watch this debacle of a show.
That wasn't a debacle.
But you know what? He saved us today because without that inside information, we would have had to kill.
We would have been stretching a little bit more. That's right.
Stretch.
And I guess the other thing is that the Yankees looks like they're going to be heading for a little bit of a war, maybe with A-Rod, with some of these incentives that he got in this contract.
And you know what? To be honest with you, I don't see how they could not pay him.
Well,
I got a contract that says you're going to pay me.
But it says if it's a marketing event, and they have chosen not to make it a marketing event.
If it's a marketing event?
Yes. Okay. And they say that even in their media guide, they talk about upcoming milestones. They don't talk about that. They talk about him, playing an X amount of games, or if next time he steals 4 more bases, he's number 146 on the list.
I got to tell you, as much as I thought it was going to be a distraction, and it was going to be
He's been a model citizen. He really has.
He's been a model citizen. And my own prediction about him getting injured, completely wrong.
Well, it's 3 games or 4 games into the season, my friend.
But still, I thought coming out of spring training they would have avoided this.
All right.
Listen, they gave him a standing ovation on opening day. Thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Bonnie Schultz, for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. And thanks to our good friend Pete Torgerson for helping us out today with the Stanley Cup playoff preview. We'll have Pete on every week.
That sounds great.
Thanks again, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week. And, of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers. Don't forget to check out the Glory Days On Demand page, www.inravio.com, to watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the InRavio TV network. Enjoy tonight's Islander-Columbus game as they finish the regular season at the Coliseum and get ready for the playoffs that start.
I think there's going to be a lot of special guests there tonight.
That would be the reason why I would want to go. The Mets home opener is Monday. Matt Harvey pitches on Tuesday, and I'll be there Tuesday.
You will be.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. See you next week.